Today we're taking a look at these baby tripods. So cute. But before we do that, we have been thinking about possibly doing a live event in May where we will premiere our new short film. We would make it open to you guys and of course sell tickets to help cover the cost, probably have several showings throughout the day and make the whole thing a meetup / short film premiere before it goes online so you would be able to see it first. I'm bringing this up because we want to gauge if you all would be interested in this, and if so, how many of you would actually be down to come. So help us out and click the link in the note below and add your vote in on this to help us decide whether we should do this or not. But jumping back to this little guy, which is a hi-hat, a mini tripod basically, and often I used to just get low angle shots by throwing my camera on a sandbag or something similar, but that doesn't give you the freedom of motion that you often need, which is why I love tools like a hi-hat. This one that I have here is the Benro hi-hat, which you can get in 75 or 100mm bowl mounts. I have the 100mm here so I can use my BB10 head on it like so. These bad boys are very adjustable as well. You can get a little height going with the telescoping legs, lock that in with grip locks, or spread them all the way out to get the camera inches from the ground, which, I mean, while we're here, we could always just throw in a sexy version of Josh. Yeah, that's a good pose. And then because, I don't know, why not? We can add an exotic animal to really drive that sexy home. So let's jump into Adobe Stock, find something that matches Josh's inner mojo, like, no, not that. Oh, maybe a tiger. Something already ready to key, like, yep, this one will do. And I'll add that to my account because tigers. Then find it in my library right inside of Premiere because tigers. Bring that in and yeah, that works for me. But then you have its little footsies. You have the articulating grip feet, which in most case scenarios work great and they grab onto a lot of things. Then the classic feet, and if you're on rocky or dirty ground, spiked feet to help you stick to the ground and not slip. Another great option is this 1/4 thread here so that you can mount accessories, including a magic arm, so a lot of options there. But the main thing here is where you can put this thing, and that's why it's such a great addition to my gearsenal. Of course, you can do the obvious of getting the standard low angle shots, which by itself is great, and I'm a big fan of getting low angle shots, especially if you have a character laying down or an object that you want to get down to without locking yourself into what you would with a bag. You could still pan and tilt to follow any action or reveal. But on top of that, you could put it on almost anything. So if you run into any issue where you can't get a standard tripod, you still have some great options, like tossing it on a desk or a counter, or inside of a car or SUV. You can get some great interior shots without much additional work and without that handheld look. We've also shown before how you can toss this one on the hood of a car to get something similar to a dolly type shot, which is a really great DIY hack that I've used many times and it works really well. Then we have one of my favorite things, and that is the ability to bolt this thing down to something. You have these 3/8 inch holes here, so I could bolt this to a piece of wood, then strap that down to whatever I wanted, like a ladder. Strap it down to the top of the ladder to get some great high shots, or if you're feeling really brave, strap it to the roof rack of your car and get some driving shots. Of course, if you do that, make sure you are really securing the hell out of it. So just a little creativity and elbow grease, you can really get a lot of visual mileage out of this one piece of gear. And for me, something like a hi-hat is a must-have on every set that I'm on because you can get unconventional with this thing as well, like using it as sort of a makeshift fig rig, or if you configure it a little bit, you can use it sort of like a shoulder rig to get handheld shots that aren't fully handheld. You're smoothing it out and get your hands away from the camera, but in a very unique way. We also use it on all of our sets, but I'll talk about that more in a second. Now we sponsor. Domain.com has all your website needs, including .com and .net domain names and an intuitive website builder. You can take the first step in creating an identity online. Of course, Domain.com is affordable, reliable, and has the tools you need to build a website so that you can start sharing your ideas with the world on a professional website. No domain extension is going to help you tell your story like a .com or .net domain name, and if you want to brand yourself online, Domain.com has over 300 domain name extensions to fit your needs from .club to .space. The good people at Domain.com are showing you some love by giving you 15% off their already affordable prices when you get domain names, web hosting, and email. Just use the coupon code FilmRight at Domain.com's checkout. When you think domain names, think Domain.com. Logo. Hey look, a small tripod. Like I said before, I have one of these bad boys on all of my projects. There's almost always a need for it. For instance, when we shot Ghost House, I used this for one of the most important shots, this one. This was our end payoff and a very large VFX shot, which we had to do several passes of to get what we wanted. Since we didn't have enough lights for the whole house, we did it in passes to make sure each part of the house was lit up that we could combine later, and a pass for our actors as well. So we needed something that would lock our camera in place for a good period of time. So even though we weren't moving the camera, a sandbag would not do the trick for this. We needed something like the hi-hat that we could trust that would stay locked for that period of time we had to get the shots. Then recently we shot that short in LA that we've been telling you guys all about, and we used the hi-hat over and over on specific shots where the camera would need to be not just at a low angle, but often unmanned, so we needed something that we could count on. And I can't tell you what we used it for yet because I don't want to spoil anything, but the point is, we did. Okay? Let's get off my back. But that's it, the value of baby sticks, which are actually called hi-hats, but I like baby sticks better, so, you know. If you want to check out the ones that we used in this episode for yourself, check the notes below for a link to that. And don't forget to check out our poll for the event as well. And I'll see you next week when I shoot a gator in the middle of the road to put it out of its misery.